Hello and welcome to your Bitcoin merchant tutorial. Today we are going over the drop-down menu for your store settings and we'll be covering the rates section. If you haven't already, we covered the primary settings page in another video and this is a continuation of that one. Check any show notes or our social media pages for more information. To start off, we're going to click on our settings on our left-hand side and that's going to bring us to our primary settings page but also give us our drop-down menu on the left side. We're going to click on rates. Now, a quick note before we start here is that when you create a store, this is already largely pre-selected and set up by default when you select a default currency and is not necessary to set up to start invoicing if you only desire to track rates in one currency or are not concerned with a fallback rate source. So here we can see in the rate section for our primary or preferred price source is that the recommendation is Kraken. This is the best one currently if you're tracking multiple currencies or largely for any currency in general. Down below here, we have our advanced rate rule scripting tool. This is for customizing how these sources are referenced within your store, but requires some specialized skills to build these. They're not necessary for general application, so this can be safely ignored. They do appear on your primary rate source and on your fallback rate source. The next toggle here is actually enabling that fallback rate source. When you go to create your store initially, this will be deactivated by default. So if you do want this enabled, you do need to come in here and do that. For your preferred price sources, just keep in mind that for most of these exchanges, generally speaking, besides the recommended Kraken one, they're not reliable for all currencies, as I will show you below. They only work for a few select ones. If you want to enable a fallback source, it would be best for you to test and verify an exchange in the list has your rate information available. So additionally, on top of your pricing, tax, network fees that you can customize throughout various parts of your stores, here you have another field, and this is for the rate spread. So again, I have 5 in here. You can only put a number between 0 and 100. This is going to add the percentage on top of your conversion. So for some quick, easy math, let's say Bitcoin is 100,000 per Bitcoin. If I put this 5 in here, that's going to put 5% on top of that exchange rate. So it's going to be 105,000 USD per Bitcoin. Okay, so we're going to quickly test our rate sources here. To make this go along a little bit quicker, I'm going to paste a list in here. You can find a specific currency you're looking for if you just followed the field format below. You can do this by itself or in a list as I'm going to do. So I'm just going to paste that very quickly. Again, before we start here, just remember to enable the fallback rates if you want this test to actually implement your fallback rate in it. So I'm going to hit test right now. And we can see that we get green check marks on our primary sources, which is good. That's why the Kraken one is recommended. But we can see with Binance that it's failing to gather some information. So British pound, the Swiss franc, Canadian dollar. Typically, if you're operating in USD or euros, the fallbacks like Binance or others are okay, but just something to keep in mind. And remember, once you've tested your sources and you're happy with the check marks you see, hit save to actually implement them. The last field below is not something that is relevant to you unless you're a web developer or someone of specialized skill. This is largely used for API usage. An example would be plugins or third-party websites that are connected to your store. This can be ignored for general application. That finishes this tutorial. Thank you for watching and keep stacking sats.